CoStar has to go see the POTUS pretty soon. Go ahead.
Thanks very much. Liz, a couple different topics. One, you talked about people's inability to communicate because of lack of power, et cetera. Can you give us any sense of how, whether you're working with mobile phone companies or the private sector at all to help boost the ability to communicate? And secondly, do you have any sense now of where the death toll is going and what the cost of rebuilding will be?
So on the effort to get communications restored, we work with, not personally, but FEMA works with the FCC and with private sector companies. All of the major providers participate in this. And as you heard me say, if you're not, let's imagine, a customer of AT&T, but Verizon is able to get some coverage in your region, you'll get free roaming in order to get access. We're also moving in Starlink receivers, as I said, because we need more capability where we think it will be a while before any of those cell towers that we would normally be dependent upon will be working again. So we have a multi-pronged effort when we need to get communications capabilities involving a variety of technologies. Some of them are more novel solutions, some of them are more traditional. I'll just say on the death count you asked about, so the current data we have is that it looks like there could be as many as 600 lost lives. But we don't have any confirmation of that. We know there are 600 who are either lost or unaccounted for. And so that work is ongoing. I'll caution you, because we've seen this before, those numbers vary widely. There's a lot of reporting that doesn't add up about the numbers. And so while we may see the numbers go up, as we get to more locations that have not yet been fully developed in terms of disaster immediate emergency response operations, we may see more people who unfortunately perished. But we may also not see the numbers skyrocket as people have predicted they might. So I would just urge you to wait until we have the facts, and we'll report them to you as we have them.
Thanks, Liz. You mentioned that in the run-up to the storm, the focus of the preparations was on the Big Bend area of Florida, and then it moved as the storm moved inland. Were you surprised by the impacts, particularly on the flooding side? Was there something wrong in the forecast that you should have pre-positioned assets differently to prepare for this sort of situation? I know that there'll be time for an after-action report later, but are you now at the point of where now you're kicking yourself that you didn't do something, Thursday or Friday?
So we can never know exactly where a storm will go. Of course, we will do, with our colleagues who do the weather predictions, an analysis of what we knew and what we didn't know and how that evolved. We were very concerned about a major hit on a city like Tallahassee, which could have catastrophic impacts. When the storms make landfall, as you know, they're at their highest velocity. The force of a hurricane when it makes land is very powerful. It usually reduces in strength as it moves over land. So that initial landfall place in the Big Bend was a major concern for us. But we were also worried about the storm moving into other areas and having significant wind effects and flooding effects. And that's what we briefed to the president as we saw the storm moving in our direction, in the direction of the southeastern United States. And we kept him apprised as we saw the evolution moving north through a variety of states. We can't know everything in advance, and one of the reasons we surge capabilities into the region is then to be able to get them closer. They can't be in the spot the hurricane is going to hit in advance. They have to be in a location in which they wouldn't be affected and then move in. So having the resources in the southeast already was very beneficial for all the states in the region.
And you mentioned the importance of setting expectations, right? So for the folks who are in the affected areas who are able to consume this now, hopefully, to the extent that they can, how long should they be expecting to wait now to access, their basic needs, power, water, food, shelter, until the federal government can provide that for them?
Well, we are moving now to get food and water, medical supplies, and other essential survival needs into the most devastated areas in North Carolina. That's what I described about using DoD helicopters, for example, to move into areas which are not accessible by ground. I was referencing the point that I think we all experience this when the power goes out. you want to know how fast it's going to come back on. In a situation like this with this much devastation, it could be a long time. So you can't just wait it out. You may need, and this is really for people listening, you may need to make alternative arrangements to get to a shelter where you can be safe and get access to electricity to power your phone, where you can get pharmaceuticals if you need them, if you lost everything, where you can begin to work toward the rebuilding of the basics of your life while your community is addressing the consequences of these devastating storms.